Hello, everyone, and welcome to our launch of today's journal, the Living Journal of Reviews in Science and Technology. So today, the 15th of May, 2026, also marks the 7th year anniversary of the alpha release of the Open Research Knowledge Graph, and we are proud to really launch this journal, Living Journal of Reviews in Science and Technology. So to hear more about this, I invite Professor Zoran Auer to talk about the mission and vision of this journal. Zoran, over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Vinod. We started the ORKG 7 years ago in order to counter a bit the flood of publications, to organize scientific knowledge and literature in a better way, in particular by creating comparisons over state-of-the-art overviews for research problems in a structured and semantic manner. Also a number of other techniques, like, for example, review articles, which can be created, literature lists, dashboards, or leaderboards of research approaches, where we can quantitatively measure progress and organize this all in the open research knowledge graph. We have meanwhile a vast number of papers, 60,000 articles in the open research knowledge graph, a large number of comparisons, 2,000. We also generate DOIs and metadata for this kind of content, which is created in the ORKG so that it gets citable and can be reused easily. It's a platform which allows also, like via APIs, via Sparkle queries, it's open data, open science, open access in many ways, and which allows to interact with this knowledge in various forms. But of course, we also admit that still publishing in traditional journals, also conferences, is the way where researchers are gratified for their effort, where their peer review ensures quality. And this is the reason why we now start this journal, Living Journal of Reviews in Science and Technology, so that high quality content from the ORKG will be also published in a peer-reviewed, quality controlled way as journal articles. But at the same time, the content which is part of these articles is still living in the open research knowledge graph. That's why it's a living journal, and the reviews are living reviews. So the content can be updated continuously. Different people can contribute to the content. So the published versions are initial versions or intermediate versions of overviews and of articles, of reviews. But of course, in the ORKG, more recent versions are also visible. And we hope that this journal will become the prime outlet for high quality content from the Open Research Knowledge Graph. We also plan, of course, we have now 20,000 comparisons in the ORKG and a number of other types of content. This is a sizable number, but we plan to have even more in the future. And if you consider that 7 million scientific articles are published every year in science and technology alone, we still have only covered the tip of the iceberg so far. So we want to increase the breadth and depth of content, organize this knowledge in the ORKG, and the journal will have a very important role to showcase the high quality content contributions, to ensure quality by peer reviewing these kind of reviews and comparisons which are published here, and also showing a bit the interdisciplinary breadth. Of course, it's not focused on one specific discipline, but in science and technology. And the focus is also maybe not so much deep new research contributions, but more the organization of the knowledge. So what kind of properties, what kind of templates, what kind of structures can be used to describe the research contributions for a particular research problem. That will be the primary criteria for assessing the quality, but of course also whether related work is covered comprehensively and whether this gives a good overview to the researchers in the field. Yes, and with this, I hand over to Vinod, who will show us a bit in detail how publishing in this journal will work.
Yeah, since we are only launching this journal today, so we do not have past issues, and the current issue is what we are actually opening up. And I will quickly show a demo, so which is not a published article, but this is one of the, in the workflow, we have this article as a showcase. So this is one of the comparisons of the reviews written by our colleagues, Alida Rode and Oliver Carras, on the European Environment Agency reports. So this was original ORKG review, and you could see that now this is in the journal page, in the journal landing page. This is how it looks like, and it also shows that this is a preview and it's not been published. So I will just show you how it would look like. So when the ORKG review is reviewed and then it gets published, so you see all the details of it, basically the abstract and the DOI for it. And then currently the data is not available for download, and the reason is because we haven't published it yet. But you could also see how we can cite this particular article, which would then have a DOI together with TIB Open Publishing. So the Living Journal of Reviews in Science and Technology is operated by the TIB Open Publishing under the Open Journal system. So if you're already familiar with the Open Journal system, that's the backend that we are using for this journal. And so when you click on the HTML view, you could see it opens up the whole review with the DOI here, and the publishing date is also mentioned here. It's today, and then you see the introduction of that, and then whatever was written in the ORKG review is reflected here. Also, the nice thing here is that you can navigate using the contents. So if I want to go to this comparison, then I just go there, and then I can see this comparison in the HTML view, browser view of the journal, where there's also visualizations embedded into it. And one could then look at the whole review and then navigate also through the navigation tool. And then there are at least 4 different comparisons that are included in this review. And then you could also see the acknowledgement section, where how much contribution of each of the individual person have done, or each of the individual accounts have done in the ORKG while creating this review. And I'll just go back to the introduction, and also maybe go back a page. When from the HTML view, you could also then view a PDF article. Usually slow when you have to do the live demo. I'll start from here then. I have to log in again. Logged in, I'll just view the function. Just click on the preview. Now I can also show you the PDF version of this article, which should then have the metadata about the journal and which volume and the DOI it's published, and the title and the authors. And it also links to the DOI, the original DOI of the ORKG review that it was created, and it also makes the metadata about that particular, the date in which it was created. And as I said, this is a showcase article that we are showing. So we would invite submissions from people who had already used the Open Research Knowledge Graph to submit their reviews to be peer-reviewed and published in our journal. But we also open the first issue for also others who would want to use the ORKG and then provide us with their articles in the first issue. So we keep it, the first issue is on different elements of natural sciences and technology. So we do not have a particular theme yet. So we invite submissions from different areas of science and technology in the natural sciences. So with that, I would stop, and then maybe Zoran, you could invite new editorial board members.
Yes, and of course, we need, in order to ensure the quality, editorial board members, reviewers in all areas of science and technology. So not only computer science, but also physics, material science, for example, chemistry, engineering are really prime areas where we want to provide such overviews and help organizing the scientific knowledge in these areas. And we would be really happy if some of you would be interested to help us with this, with the domain expertise, but of course also with an interest on how to structure contributions as to structure knowledge in these domains. So please get in touch with us. We will be happy to have you on board in the editorial board of the journal.
Yeah, thank you, Zoran. Also, yeah, please do contact us if you want to be part of the editorial board member. And then if you also want to submit articles to the new journal, we are welcome to hear your questions. Thank you. Then I'll stop the recording here.